Hey, what's up, guys? I just want to show you real quick some of the beginning lessons, some of the important things about raising little baby chickens. So when chicks are young like this, and these are about, I would say about a month old, coming up on a month old right now. They have their feathers. As you can see, all these guys are fully feathered. This is a white leghorn right here that'll lay white eggs. These are Americanas or Aracanas. They'll lay what they call Easter eggs. They're all different colored eggs. So they're both pretty cool. Both good layers. Both known to lay, when they get to be adults in certain times of year, like spring, like now, they can lay, 2 eggs per day each. So they can lay that many. It depends on a lot of other things, like how good their environment is, the coop that they're in, whether they have sufficient room, food, nutrition. So there's a lot of variables. But anyway, in the beginning, like this, you start when they have their feathers. You don't really need a heat lamp anymore. These girls are going to be warm with their own, with what Mother Nature gave them with the feathers. But when they were young, when they were, really young chicks, really young babies, you had to have a heat lamp. And so a lamp like this has a red heat bulb that screws in there. Now I just have a regular light bulb, as you can see. And that, you have to have that on them when they're young. You keep that on them until they're fully feathered. But with the heat lamp, you would raise it up little by little off of whatever they're in, whether they're in a fish tank like I used to keep them in here, or whether they're in this old freezer chest that stopped working last summer. You raise the heat lamp up in increments, each week, I think they say, and you can read a lot of this online, but each week you raise the lamp up a little bit to get them accustomed to eventually not having that heat source. But you want to make sure you have good food for them. And in this case, I buy, what do they call it again? Because there's grower pellets, there's starter, which is what they're on now. It'll come, you can get this all at Tractor Supply or at the feed store, the feed mill. So now mine are on, again, about a month into it, they're on the starter, but real soon they'll be switching to the grower food. And then you want to have a steady source of water, something like this font over here, where as they drink it, more can come out of the container. It works on gravity, and you don't just want to put like, a bucket or something in there, because what they'll do is that you can see that they're kind of messy. They're going to get those pine shavings, the bedding material in the base. They're going to get that everywhere, and they kind of do that anyway. But at least in this kind of water and this kind of food trough, it's easy to keep the bulk of it out. So you want to make sure your chickens imprint on you. You want to try to handle them and let them know that they shouldn't be afraid of you. You can pick them up from time to time. Sometimes they're a little hard to catch, and they might make a little bit of noise, because they're, obviously they're animals. They don't know what to expect. But if you get them used to it, then they'll grow to know that they can trust you. That that you're going to take care of them, and that they don't need to be afraid. So these are all healthy, happy birds. They're all doing real well. When they get to be of sufficient size, where they're almost full grown, they can be introduced into the rest of the flock with your other chickens, if you have any. If you don't have any other chickens, then you're going to want to make sure you build a coop or buy a coop outdoors and integrate them to that when the weather temperatures aren't going to get too cold. When it's, spring and the temperatures are, say, maybe at night, the coldest it's getting, I would say, 55, 60 degrees, then you could probably start thinking about moving them out into a coop as long as they're fully feathered. But these girls will stay in here until they're bigger for my situation, because, again, they have to integrate to the rest of my flock, and it's best when they're about the same size. So they're a lot of fun. Raising chickens is not too hard. Anybody can really do it. I highly recommend it because it's one of the few pets that give back to you. When you start getting eggs, it's a really cool thing, and it's enjoyable to even just sit and watch them do their thing and kind of interact with each other. So highly recommend it. Get yourself some chickens and enjoy it.